Hey everyone, so before we go any further, yes, I don't have anything on my cheeks. I have no bronzer, I have no blush, I have no highlighter because look what I found at Ulta yesterday. This thing is amazing. This is the Chisel palette, Park Avenue Princess from Tarte. We're gonna put this on today, and the Tartelette Toasted palette. I have that on right now. I'm going to show you two different looks I did with the Tartelette Toasted. This one today and then another one from yesterday. So if I'm looking extra pale, it's this Huda Beauty foundation. I don't know about this anymore. I have filmed a video. I have not yet put it out. I probably will still put it out, or I may refilm it because I just think this is too light for me. I just think it is too light. It is number 120B vanilla. I'll go into all that on another video, but you know, I had to order it blind off Sephora.com. Of course, nobody around here, none of the Sephoras around here have a Huda Beauty section. Why I got these palettes when I said I wasn't going to? Well, I didn't say I wasn't going to get this Park Avenue Princess. This one snuck up on me. I am not the hugest fan of their color Park Avenue Princess in Tarte, because a lot of times it turns out to be very orangey. They've made a bronzer before called Park Avenue Princess. They put it in a lot of their palettes and sets, and I did not know this was coming out. I think I had only seen a picture of it like maybe in the last week before it came out, something like that, and I thought, oh, I'll look at that. And then when I looked at it, Pale Girl alert, this one is perfection for pale girls. Look at that. I'm going to get into this more. I've got lots to tell you about this one. So why I ended up buying the Tartelette Toasted when I told you I wouldn't? Well, I ran up yesterday. It was released at Ulta. I ran up right when they opened and I grabbed one. I had to ask them to get it out of the back. They hadn't set up the display yet. But I looked at it in the store. I was like, okay, I may buy it, I may not buy it. I looked at it in the store and I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. It's a nice warm palette. It has a gorgeous purple in it. It has this beautiful sparkling brown down here. It's a warm palette. I have warm palettes, but I'll go ahead and give it a try. I think it's nice. The quality is perfection. Of course, it's Tarte. There is one color in here I do have a little bit of an issue with, but it's so soft and it smells like vanilla. And I thought, well, I'll just try it out. I like it. And it turns out I kind of really like it. So I do like the sort of fiery cloisonne sort of enamel look of the packaging. That's very pretty. So let me swatch these for you and I'll show you how I have put two different looks on with these. Here are your warm colors. Aren't they pretty? Don't they go together really nicely? Look at the pigmentation, nothing lacking there. Fantastic, smooth metallics. I have an issue with this color called Candle right here. It's very flaky. It's a flaky glitter. I have applied that and with Fix Plus to the lid. I did that yesterday and it still was flaky. I tried to apply it with Fix Plus on my inner corner with a little pointed brush and it was still giving a really flaky, yucky appearance. So I'm not a real big fan of that one color. Everything else is fantastic though. Warm palette though, you probably already have 15 warm palettes. I mean, we all do. So that's kind of where you have to draw the line. Do you want another warm palette? So here is how I applied this look today. Started out by priming my lids with Urban Decay's Eden Primer Potion. Yes, I'm going to start out by putting cashmere on the lid. Kind of light, a very, very light yellowy peach. Extreme powderiness, extreme softness. Really adhering nicely to my primer. Look at the coverage on that, on a yellow orange like this, and it is still completely covering my skin tone. Now I'm going to fluff on the color called Warmth right here in my crease. I'm going to carry this up fairly high because I'm going to have it peek out from under another color, and that would be Cozy. I love the color called Cozy. I'm going to go into a color called Cozy. I love this color. And I'm just putting that right through here. I'm not going all the way out. These are layering so pretty. Look at the layering on that. And just like no problem. Has so much pigment, it's just like no problem. I can cover that. Bringing that slightly down to on my lid. Of course, I have a huge lid, so I like to try to make my lid look a little smaller by bringing crease colors kind of low onto it. I like it already. Okay, I'm going into the outer corner. I have to make a decision here. Crackle. I love this. Look at that glitter. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do a larger outer corner with crackle and then put this on. I'm just gonna have to. Okay, let's blend that out. Wow, the blend on that was so nice. You almost can't see the gold flecks in it anymore, but except for the fallout right here. Okay, Fireside, one of my favorite colors in the palette. Oh, I love this. Look at that. Oh my, look at how it blends itself. Okay, lining, I'm gonna put Latte on my lower lash line. You know, after those Pat McGrath Labs videos I did, I turned my sink black. I think the last one I did, the one with the really hot pink, and then had all that black and dark. And what I usually do is I use a liquid eye makeup remover. I pat that on and let it sort of soak off the mascara and stuff. After I've worked that sort of in, my hands are all black with makeup, and I rinsed them off in my sink, and I turned my sink turned black. It was so funny. I had so much makeup on that my sink turned black. I think I'll do Cozy in the outer part down here because I love that color. I think I'm going to pat a little of this color called Sunrise on as sort of a brightener in the middle of my lid. Golden Butter. You can kind of see a difference there. It has that satin finish so that it's kind of a pearlizer right there. Let me show you another look and then we'll be back and we will put on this Park Avenue Princess. Okay, I have primed my lids with Urban Decay's Fix Primer, and I'm going to put the color called Sunset all over my lid. Going on like a dream, of course. You knew it would. Okay, buffing into the crease with Latte, a very light, warm tan. Okay, I'm going to mix the two colors called Warmth and Cozy together, and I'm going to put those inner and outer corner. So I'm going to dip into one and then dip into the other. For this outer part right now here, I'm going to go a little more into the Cozy color. I put a little bit on top of what I had right there, but I wanted to get this a little bit more burgundy out here. Getting quite a bit of kick up on those two colors. Quite soft mattes, so they're kind of kicking up a little bit. I'm going to go over both of those, or actually all four of those, with a little more of this Warmth, or Cozy, sorry, because I just really like it. Kind of buff the edges a little bit, and right here. Put a little more of Latte in there, in that crease again. Okay, I'm going to put a little of the color called Sunrise right here. It looks matte. I'm going to use that as my highlighter, but it's not really matte. It is like a very lightweight satin. Okay, and dotting on a little of the color called Candle, which is a very kind of loose glitter, sort of. Dot that in the middle here to get a good glow going on. Okay, I don't know. Do you need another warm palette in your life? Yes, it's nice, but I feel like it's quite, you know, dupeable. I feel like there are other palettes that have these same colors in them. You may already have. So, but it's such nice quality though. The mattes are very soft. The metallics are very creamy and smooth. So that's what you have to decide. The Park Avenue Princess, the Chisel. I have not heard anything about this. I hadn't heard it was coming out. I hadn't heard anything about it. Why are people not raving about this? Because it's fantastic. I thought I really liked this Naked Skin Shapeshifter palette. I've been using it, but you know what? I haven't been using all of it or very many parts of it. I've been using this color, and then on the other side, on the creams, I haven't really been using the creams at all except for this. And cream contours are a little problematic for me. I don't like to contour with cream. I would rather contour with powders. So then this comes along and blows everything out of the water. Why are people not freaking out about how good this is for light skin? And the packaging, hello, rose gold alligator. Love that. I love this raised lettering. Look what they did with this. They just tried really hard to make this a quality, high quality palette. I have been using this. I used this yesterday. I'm going to put this on for you because it is the most fantastic thing ever. Okay, look at your colors here. If you can't tell, these are two different colors here. This one's a little more yellow, that one's a little more white. Look at how good these are for pale skin. You wouldn't put them on this dark or this heavy, of course, so they're perfect. They're just perfection for me. Let's put some of this stuff on. I'm dying to. Okay, I'm gonna put some of the color called Carrot in as a contour, and then I'm gonna use this color as a bronzer. That is Princess Cut. And then I'll probably use just a little bit of this as contour as well. In fact, I'll put that crown, the darkest color crown, on as my contour first, and then sort of blend it out with that carrot color. It is quite dark, this crown color. So I'm putting it on first with the product side of the brush, and then I'm flipping it over to the clean side and buffing a little bit. I'll take some of that off in a minute when I clean my whole cheek up. And lightening some of that up with my kind of big cheap eraser cheek brush. That's what I call it, my eraser brush. Princess Cut is going to be my bronzer. Nice big pans on these. You can get your brush in there. Yeah, this is shaping up to be my favorite contour set that I have. Just the colors are just really working out. And I use this color called Halo to sort of buff out the edges of my dark area contour up here. But I love these others. This one's a little orange for me, but I love these two, and I love this one, and then this one's good to buff out the edges of bronzer. Okay, I look a little less pale. I have a little bit of bronzer. I have a little bit more color on my cheeks. So, we love our Park Avenue Princess Chisel palette. This is now my favorite contour set or palette that I own. As far as the eyeshadow palette, I have warm palettes. I have a lot of them, and I had great hopes for that candle color, but it is just so flaky. I can't get it to lay down. Okay, so how do the Natasha Denona palettes compare to the Pat McGrath Labs palettes? They're both very expensive palettes, so it's good to compare them. It's not like you're comparing a cheapie with an expensive one. The packaging is totally different. I mean, without even going into the packaging, you know it's totally different. I really am a fan of Natasha Denona's leatherette sort of feel. As far as the shades themselves, I feel like the mattes in the Pat McGrath Labs and the mattes in the Natasha Denona's feel very, very similar. They're both a little harder and drier. I'm not saying that they're hard or dry though. There are so many mattes that are super soft. They're just that pillowy, fluffy soft. These are not like that, but they go on your brush really nicely. Both of them go on your brush really nicely. There are a couple of shades in the Star palette that are sort of a rosy color or burgundy color. They're not very pigmented. They're more sheer. The Pat McGrath Labs has a little problem with sheerness on a few of them as well. This plum color from the Sublime palette is more sheer than you would think it would be looking at it in the pan. Sheerness can be a problem with either one of these, just hit and miss on the colors. That's the same on both of them. Glitter flakiness, there are a couple that are flaky glitters in either of these palettes, any of these palettes. There's a flaky gold in the Sunset palette. These duochromes in the Pat McGrath Labs are quite flaky, but they're not a chunky flake. They're a finer flakes. Comparing the satins in the two palettes, or in the two brands of palettes, I feel like the satins in the Natasha Denona feel better. They're a little bit squishier, they're a little bit creamier, that's what they are, a little bit creamier. The satins in these are just a little, I mean, it's just a hair's width difference in between the two of them. I just prefer the formula on the Natasha Denona, but both of these brands, you can go hit or miss on some particular shades. Being too sheer, being chunky, that kind of thing, being flaky. So anyway, I would compare, I'd say they're comparable. I just prefer the Natasha Denona because these Pat McGraths are just, the colors are all over the place on these. It's not a cohesive palette. The Natasha Denona, you have a cohesion. The Star palette has a lot of browns. It's a lot of natural tones. The Lila palette is purples and pinks and purples, pinks and browns. The Sunset palette is oranges and rusts and stuff like that. You're more likely to be able to do a more natural, more normal looking eye, I think, with the Natasha Denonas than the Pat McGrath, without breaking out all three palettes or two palettes and switching the colors all around. I think these are more, the Natasha are more cohesive palettes. Okay, that's it for today. So Huda Beauty, I think she's going back. Stay tuned for a video on that. I've got so much to show you guys. I've got my Big Lancome gift to show you guys. I do that every year. I've got a Dior palette. Oh, it's beautiful. Yes, this is the big holiday palette. Look at that. I mean, clutch. You could just carry that as a clutch. It's lovely. That, lots of things. So coming up, more videos. Thanks for watching.